Namaste. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to our practice of yoga. Today is Thursday and we have the opportunity to start the day with yoga. Only if you have done the practice, you will understand what does that mean. And in this time that we have today, just before our practice, we have just a few minutes. We have 10 minutes before practice. If you are new to this channel, if you haven't seen it, any one of our videos, if you have not been with us alive, just to let you know that this first 10 minutes is actually a moment that I open to help you to organize yourself. Then if you're already ready for your practice and you are not seeing this video live, just jump more or less to grab the beginning of the practice. And if you're here with me live, you're here joining with me in this journey, which that always makes me very excited to know that you are here with me, that we are sharing this moment in time. Is my strong belief that when we do yoga, we create this frequency, we create this vibration. And if there are more people, this vibration is stronger and expand further. Then I always enjoy very much if you're here with me live doing the classes when I'm doing. That's why I decided to do live classes rather than simply record a class and put on Facebook and YouTube. Is because I like the feeling to know that we are sharing. But anyway, then now this time here is a chat moment. If you were here with me for long, you already know, probably you were there organizing your own space, you're organizing your mat, organizing maybe your blanket for your Shavasana moment. Remember that Shavasana is a very important moment of practice when we went to that state of relaxation. One of my teachers, he says that in Shavasana is when all the bodies, they finally interconnect. Then is a very interesting perspective and important to know about this, the pause. Shavasana in our practice of yoga is highlighting how important is the moment of pause. The moment of pause with consciousness. Also in our life is very important the moment of pause for the physical body, which actually is the moment of sleep. The body requires a certain amount of sleep. I do believe that also is individual to each person. People say 8, people say 7, 6 hours. You know, how many hours do you need to feel that you are re-energized, that your energy is restored? And that is the pause that the physical body is telling us. How important is the moment of pause, the moment where I recover. When we study the nervous system, is exactly that. We have two main nervous system, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, and one of them is communicating moments of stress, moments of fight and flight response, and the other is rest, recover, digest. And if one is active, the other is not active. That this really, to understand the balance. They say that the center is actually the perfect combination between these two energies. And when we work with the Namaskars, now we've been working with the Namaskar now in our practice on a Tuesday and Thursday, we do ended working with these energies, this more active energy and more passive energy. There's always this polarity, it's always this duality. And the center is not to suppress one energy completely or the other, but understand that they are this perfect combination, this perfect harmony. Yeah, in the end, I was going to talk with you actually about yoga today. I always like to make like circles. Suddenly we mention something that I always mention, but it's nice to refresh and it's nice to remind ourselves. Now. Sometimes we forget things. In the path of yoga, I like to remember you what actually yoga means now, what the word yoga means. Yoga as a philosophy, as a system of teaching, came much after of the word and much after to be used actually. Then yoga was there much before become a system. And yoga, the word means union, connection. That is what means yoga, the Sanskrit word. And when we practice this now that is a system now teachings, when we practice that, more and more we understand how many different layers of connections happen in yoga. There's many different types of connections that are possible because we are this universe. We are actually a system. Then we have this connection within us, in our own elements, in the components that create our universe. And then you have a possibility of a bigger union. Namaste, welcome, welcome. Then you have this possibility of interconnection with other human beings, with other living beings of the planet. There is a constant possibility of connection. And yoga is this journey, this reminder of possibilities to work together, to work in cooperation. And yoga is about that. When we work here in our practice, I always like to remind you and really to highlight the connection with the physical body. I feel that that is the first door for all the other connections. Start from here, connecting with this energy that is this dense energy that we perceive with our senses. And how is this relation? Then sometimes if you feel, because yoga is a philosophy, is a way to approach life. And then if sometimes you feel like, I need to be on the mat to practice yoga. Actually, you don't need to be in the mat. You can practice yoga every second. And it's about the connection. Then if you may want to inspire yourself to come to this connection, which will reflect in the connection with the mind, with the connection with your heart, with the connection with your emotions, with the connection of the things that are happening that you needed to digest, to process, because all of that is about growing and evolving. Then if you forget the path, the most easy way to remind you is to bring the attention to your body, to connect with the physical body. And just that is yoga. Then if you are throughout your day and you feel agitated, come to your heart, to the physical area of your chest. Bring your hands, use Hridaya Mudra, right hand, left hand. Take a deep breath here in the chest area. And you see that immediately something changed chemically within the body. And that facilitates clarity, facilitates perception. Sometimes it's very simple. The mind creates complexity, but the answers are there. And now let's experience, because that is the most beautiful thing about yoga, And is the other thing that I always tell to my students, even that I do love talk about yoga, the most important actually are not my words, because words are limitations of sound. The most important is you to experience. Then I invite you to experience, to come to your mat and experience this process, experience this journey. Surrender your heart to this moment and experience, and you will understand. You will perceive and know what is the difference, what means yoga, what means to be connected. And now it's time for us to start our practice. Let's start this experience of yoga, bringing yoga to our journey. And we started now finding a position of alignment. We're going to practice Ujjayi, which is the breathing that we are practicing throughout the morning classes. Then for us to practice this breathing, for us to practice any breathing, you need alignment. Then make sure that you are in a sitting position. You can be using the chair if you need it. If to sit on the floor is uncomfortable, is early in the morning, you have not worked with the body yet, then maybe just to sit on the floor is a little bit too much for you right now. You can sit on a chair, that's perfectly fine. Preferably, if the chair is cannot be like on the sofa, something too soft, you need a kind of a surface that is going to give stability for you. It needs to be something, a hard surface that you give you that stability. Remember, if you're if you sit on the chair, you don't use the back of the chair. And if you sit on the floor, you can be sitting on a cushion. Well, you can use any tool that makes this position alignment for you and also comfortable. It's important that you hold the possibility, because even that if you're sitting in, if you are uncomfortable for any reason, that is going to have a direct influence in your breathing also. Then make sure that you have alignment, but also that you have comfort. And then you're going to practice together Ujjayi. To do this breathing, remember that you do a contraction in the glute, creating resistance. You are creating resistance in the inhalation and the exhalation. Then let's practice together for a few moments. Please continue your practice. I'm just gonna give you some guidelines when you are still practicing. Now to the end of the meditation practice, the pranayama moment of your practice, you will not interrupt your breathing. You continue breathing. I'm going to be talking with you just to bring you some refinement to your practice. What you're looking, the first thing, Ujjayi, you will feel that Ujjayi helps you to clean, like the mucus, if there are any mucus here in the area of the throat, that's going to start to move. Then you will your aim is to have a continuous practice, but of course if you need to clean the airways, that's perfectly fine. That's going to release. It's this resistance that start to release, start to open the airways. And one thing that is important in Ujjayi, and that your practice, you're probably observing that, is that your resistance need to be constant. You don't need you cannot use too much resistance and then lose that resistance, because you're going to create a jaggery. rhythm for your breathing. What you are looking is this resistance that keeps stable without moving. Then you create this sound that is the same sound throughout your whole practice. Now I invite you to pay attention in this element, to practice Ujjayi holding one resistance. When you practice Ujjayi, you will observe that then there is this sound. The sound is the element that you're looking in Ujjayi. And this resistance will reflect in your sound. Even that you're producing the sound, there is a point, there is a note, and that comes with practice. You will feel, because it's not too tight, it's not too much effort, and it's not. There is a smooth contraction. That's what we're looking for. Then continue your practice. Make sure that you are keeping your alignment. Make sure that your shoulders are released, that your jaw is not too tight. And make sure that you're finding this note, that you're finding this sound, that you're finding this contraction in the throat that create resistance but does not block. Now, if you're familiar with abdominal breathing, remember that you can always practice Ujjayi as a layer of abdominal breathing, which means you can combine both breathings. If you don't absolutely get it what I'm saying right now, don't worry. Keep doing your Ujjayi. You can find in the videos of the classes in the evening. We practice abdominal breathing in that classes. If you want some help, you have in all the videos, in the evening videos, you can find this practice of abdominal breathing. Now we're practicing Ujjayi, and if you know abdominal breathing, implement abdominal breathing in your practice. That is gonna potentialize Ujjayi. Ujjayi means to become victorious. And when you practice yoga, you understand that there is only one enemy. And the breath is continue, and there is no interruption, and that resistance is constant, and you are more intimate now with the sound that you are producing. Now you're gonna need an extra attention on your mind, more awareness, because without interrupting your breathing, you will continue breathing Ujjayi. You not interrupt the breathing. This breathing you still hold, but now you're gonna implement Ujjayi in this transition. You are gonna be moving for any position that you are into. Maybe you need to put your chair away to give you space. We're gonna start to work with the mat, with the yoga mat. And we're gonna start to work in the standing position. And you're gonna move without stopping, and now that is your practice, without interrupting your Ujjayi, without losing this sound that you create, this smooth sound that is happening. You're gonna move from your sitting position to the standing position. And we're going to start our movement. We started simply with this circle in the wrist, and you're breathing Ujjayi. And more creating this connection with your breathing. Remember that we're talking about yoga in the beginning of the video, that we're talking about connection. And here in yoga, you are breathing, you're connecting more and more with this exercise, with this breathing. And at the same moment, and it's challenging because you need to do the movement, pay attention in this movement that now curls your fingers and open. And at the same time, you are breathing, controlling the breathing in only one note, in only one resistance. It's not easy and requires a lot of attention. And now let's change it, changing the direction. And Ujjayi is still happening. Ujjayi is going to keep happening. Now that is your practice. Your practice today, you're going to breathe Ujjayi is to hold Ujjayi, to hold this rhythm that you already reached, to roll this, to hold this sound that you are producing till the moment when I tell you to stop Ujjayi. Now we're going to start circles. These circles comes now to the arms that are crossing into the front and then opening. Crossing into the front and opening. And you are breathing Ujjayi, inhalation all the way up and exhalation down. Start to study this movement. Can open in direction to the back and come here in direction to the front. When you study and really pay attention in the movement, when you connect and unite with the movement, you may perceive possibilities of the movement that you have not considered. Then bring your attention, you're looking forward and you are making this motion with all your awareness connected. Inhalation and exhalation. In the next exhalation, you're going to bend your knees, releasing the trunk in the front of the position, releasing the head in the end of the movement, and then coming back in a circular motion. Cross your arms in front of your body, and exhalation. Again, the same movement. Bend your knees, release your head, come back in a circular motion, arms crossing into the front. Exhalation all the way down. And inhalation all the way up. Expanding this movement and expanding your breathing in your zone of comfort. Studying the possibility of the whole movement reflecting throughout your whole body. The next exhalation. Release your arms Then you're going to change the direction, opening the arms now in direction to the ceiling, up and down, crossing in front of the body. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation, open in direction to the ceiling. And in your exhalation, now bend your knees, releasing your trunk in the front of the position. And come back, circular motion. Opening your arms, stretching, expanding, studying the possibility of the motion. Really entering more and more in this connection, in this union, movement, breathing, consciousness. In the next exhalation, just your arms in the front of the body. You're going to wave your arms now up and down, really releasing the area of the shoulders. Inhalation up and exhalation down. Using all the extension of your breathing, forgetting for a moment the pace that I am using for the movement, and maybe closing your eyes just to really enter in this connection, enter in this rhythm, movement, body, breathing, consciousness. And in the next exhalation, you're going to separate your feet slightly away from the distance of your pelvis. Maybe the wide of your mat. Bring your hands in direction to your lower back, and here you're gonna start to make a circle with your pelvis. Imagining that there is a circle around your pelvis, and you're trying to touch this circle with your pelvis. Just really bringing this energy and warming up this area of the body for us to enter in our cycle of Surya Namaskar. Very gentle. Remember that you're breathing Ujjayi. Ujjayi is happening. The sound of the breathing is resonating within you. Let's change the direction. When we work with the pelvis, we are working directly with the second chakra, Swadhisthana. And here we create a connection with our emotions. Then you release, shaking your arms a little bit, kick it off. Start to feel your body in a different movement. And even that we are just doing that, you are still holding your jaw. You still have this point of connection that's going to happen till we finish the Surya Namaskar. Then let's here in the front of mat, abdominals in contraction, really working with this area of the lower back. With our hand, start here with our hand in front of our chest in Atmanjali Mudra, releasing our chest and dropping our shoulders, looking in direction to the horizon and reminding that this connection with the body will reflect the respect towards its limits and its possibilities. Let's start it gently with the back bend. Inhalation. Exhalation, look forward, easing the body with control, using your abdominals, then releasing completely your head in the end of the movement. Head in direction to your knees. Then you're gonna look forward, stretching. Big step with your right leg behind you. Then the left into a plank, knee on the floor, chest in between your hands, the pelvis is up, and then you come to Bhujangasana, looking forward, release your shoulders, tucking your elbows close to your body, pelvis in direction to your feet, and downward facing dog. Finding a distance that gives you stability between hands and feet, bringing your heels as close as possible in direction to the floor, the shoulders away from the ears, the top of the head in direction to the mat. Breathing, constant. Looking up, big step with your right leg, then your left. Inhalation, stretching. Exhalation, releasing. Bend your knees. Inhalation all the way up. You can come back in a circular motion here if you need it. Then bring your arms, Atmanjali Mudra, and hands in front of the chest. You can always do this movement, bending your knees and come in a circular motion. The next variation is a little bit stronger for your lower back. And observe if you have enough strength to do this variation. If not, repeat this one that we just done it. Hand in front of your chest. Inhalation, back bend. Exhalation, forward all the way down. Head in direction to your knees. Inhalation, stretching, looking forward. Exhalation, left leg behind you. Then the right knee, chest. Inhalation, Bhujangasana. Shoulders down, elbows bend. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Looking forward, big step with your left, then your right. Inhalation, stretching. Exhalation, releasing. Inhalation, all the way up, looking forward with your abdominals. Back bend and center. Inhalation. Exhalation. Inhalation. Exhalation, right leg. Then left. Knee, chest, pelvis up. Inhalation, Bhujangasana. Exhalation, downward facing dog. Looking up, big step with your right, then the left. Inhalation, stretching. Exhalation, releasing. Inhalation, looking forward, all the way up, back bend. Exhalation, center. Inhalation. Exhalation. Inhalation, looking up. Exhalation, left leg behind you. Then the right. Knee, chest. Inhalation, Bhujangasana. And exhalation, downward facing dog. Looking up, big step with your left, then the right. Inhalation, stretching. Exhalation, releasing. Inhalation, abdominals in contraction. Back bend. Exhalation, center. And then let's release now the body a little bit in the small little elephant. You have your feet separated between the distance of your hip, and you're gonna bounce from one side and then the other. And at the same time that you release the upper body, observe that your foot is also moving. Make sure that your knee is in a safe position. And at the same time that you release now your body, you also will release Ujjayi. You've been doing Ujjayi till now, and now you release. You let it go of the contraction. You let it go of the sound. Allowing now the body to come back to its state of breathing naturally without you controlling this movement. Just allow the body to breathe. You're going to bring the arms now to the height of your chest, releasing your shoulders, and just increase this rotation on the upper body, also stimulating this openness of the chest. And you're going to release your to the front now. You can take a big step in direction to the back. And here we're gonna work with that movement of Surya Namaskar that sometimes we have difficulty. And with this motion can help you to have the flexibility that you need, which is when you are here with your hands on the side of your feet and you need to step in and to step out. Let's just do a few movements, just that, bringing the leg in and then stretching the leg out. Bring the leg in and stretch the leg out. Observing how far can you go, what can you do in this movement. Maybe you have a constriction in the movement at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. And now let's do the other leg. Stretching behind you, the hands are here on the side of your foot, and you bring it back. In this movement, you need strength and flexibility. And like everything that you do with your body, you need practice. As more you do the movement, better you become. Then, if you have difficulty in this movement, you just need to practice this more throughout your day, throughout your week. All the direction to the back, and then back. All the way back, and bring it. And now let's stop here, bringing our feet in a parallel position, distance of your hip. You're just gonna release your head, extending your legs, just allowing the body to be released here in this position. We are doing an inversion here. Inversion, sometimes they are challenging because you may feel uncomfortable. Then if you are feeling uncomfortable, please come to a neutral position. If you are comfortable here, we are staying just for more than a few moments. Now we're gonna come to that big step. Your hands come then on the side of your feet. Can be just the tip of your fingers. Don't need to be your whole palm if you don't reach the floor. Can be just your fingers. Here give you more balance for the movement. Then a big step in direction to the back. your right leg, and then you're gonna place your knee on the floor and your foot. Gonna just work with the flexibility of the front of the leg now. Make sure that the position on the floor is comfortable for your knee. And the distance between one leg and the other is individual. It will depend on your flexibility. What you should be feeling now is the stretch on your thigh, on the front of your thigh. Now, very careful, very aware of your transition. We are bringing the toe back to the floor, and then I stretch, bringing my leg above the floor. And now I'm going to need energy here, strength, to bring my leg back to the initial position. And then release. Now we're going to release a little bit in this inversion, but here we have our knees bended. You're not really using the back of the legs right now. You're just releasing. You can even move your head a little bit to one side and then the other. Really releasing that area of the neck. Release your shoulders. Remember that you're breathing naturally now. Sometimes it's very challenging to let Ujjayi to go. You want to stay with Ujjayi. Now we're going to work with the left leg. Your hands here on the side of your feet. And then that big step as far as you can go. Then the knee come to the floor. Release your foot and we hold. The head is a continuation of your spine, and don't drop your head. Always making sure that that area is very safe. And here you know what you should be feeling, which area you should be working. And now you work, if you do have difficulty in that movement, now you work with two movements that will help you to improve that movement in Vinyasana, which is the strength movement and the flexibility that you were just doing. Now we're going to need that extra tension, bringing your toe direction to the floor and stretching your leg out of the floor now. And then you're going to need that strength, bringing your leg back to the initial position. Knees are bent, release your head. We are recovering in an inversion, facilitating the flow of blood in direction to the head. Releasing deeply the area of the shoulders. And with your hands on the floor, we're going to make a transition now. We are transition from the inversion to the floor. Remember to hold your awareness. Transitions. We're going to bring our belly in direction to the mat. And now we are going to practice Bhujangasana. Really understanding how this asana is done to bring real benefit to the whole body. Not only physical body, but energetical body, mind body. We're going to start it with a small little, going to start with a small little Bhujangasana with your elbows on the floor, distance of your shoulders. And here you're going to separate your legs. This is a very comfortable way to practice alignment for Bhujangasana because it doesn't require too much energy, but it still is extremely beneficial. Extremely beneficial for the respiratory system, immunological system, amazing for the heart chakra. Amazing practice. Just this small little version of Bhujangasana. Then, if you feel that you are strong here, then you go to the next variation. Otherwise, repeat this one. Important thing to understand in Bhujangasana is that your shoulders are away from the ears, and there is a motion of the shoulders in direction to the back. They are opening your chest and bringing the shoulder blades close together in the area of the back. Then it's very important for you to apply these movements here to really receive the benefits of this asana. Looking in direction to the horizon, and here your glutes, your legs, they are completely rest. There's no contraction. The work is really on the upper body. We're going to rest now for a moment, bringing one hand and then the other in direction to the floor, just resting your forehead, taking a moment here. You can bounce a little bit the pelvis to one side and then the other, just to really alleviate the tension on the muscles. And now we're going to do the complete Bhujangasana. That's a very strong asana when is done it in alignment. Then observe how far can you do. Maybe you can do just a moment. Maybe you cannot hold the whole time that we're going to be holding. Remember to connect with your body, to end your elbows in. Your elbows always going to be close to your body. Elbows are going to be always be bended. You don't stretch your elbows. You're going to really use your arms. Bring your legs in a parallel position. Now they are together. The feet, they are on the floor. And here you're going to use your arms to bring your trunk up. The elbows are tucking in and the elbows are bended. You're not stretching your elbows. Really using your arm. And then the shoulders are down. At the same time, they are making a motion that is opening the chest. Very strong position. Direction to the horizon, really working there with the upper body. Release your shoulders. The breathing should be constant, without interruption, and you should not be struggling. You should be comfortable, working, but not in pain. And very gently, part of the movement, we're going to bring the trunk down. It's slower, much slower. You are activating and using all that muscles that actually you need. Then as slow, better for the body. And once you arrive into the floor, you're gonna bring your pelvis now in direction to your heels. And we're gonna compensate the previous position. Gonna stretch your arms above your head and forehead in direction to the floor. If you cannot reach the floor in this position with your forehead, you can bring your hands close on the top of each other, and then rest and recover here in this position. Observe what works for you and for your body. Then bringing your arms close to your body in awareness. You're going to move from this position to a position, to a sitting position. You're going to do Sukhasana, which is the easy cross posture, but you're going to fold your right leg second, left and second the right, which means your right leg is going to be on the outside of the position. We are not going to use anymore the standing position, and then if you're feeling cold, you can put your socks now. There is no problem at all, to make sure that you're always nice and warm. I don't know how it's there for you, but here it's very cold. Then in this position, we're just going to come to the side and then back. I'm going to start to work with this area of the body, which is the side of the body, and back. And we're going to start this motion very gently. There is no rush here. It's a very small, gently bouncing from one side and then the other. Inhalation, come to the side. Exhalation, back to the center. Very gently, without needing to rush, without needing to go all the way. No, you don't need it. It's morning. The side of the body is an area of the body that we do not use, not even day, much in our routine movement, which means it is an area that is a lot of contraction into the muscles. Then give your kindness, give your care to your body now here, really moving, respecting this time that the body needs. Then into the center here, we're gonna twist. We're gonna twist in direction to the right leg, and we're gonna hold this hand that is on the floor is helping you to keep the alignment of the spine. You don't lean, keeping this axis of the spine. You don't lean forward or backward. You're just rotating, really respecting that alignment. Now look in direction to the back, releasing your shoulders. Use your hand here that is on your thigh to help to engage every single one of the vertebrae. And then gently back to the center. Release your arms on the side of the position, on the back of the pelvis, your hands, and now let's just stretch the legs. Let's just release the legs a little bit. And now we're going to fold the right and then the left. And you're going to come back to that side waving, one side and the other, connecting with the breathing. Inhalation and exhalation. Close your eyes Surrender to this moment of yoga where your mind is completely present and connected with your body. Here in the present moment. Inhalation to the side and exhalation to the center. And in the next exhalation, you are in the center and you just simply rotate now in direction to the left leg, reminding to keep that alignment, to open your chest, turn your head in direction to the back, to release your legs, to engage each one of the vertebrae into this twist. Then take a deep inhalation, and in the exhalation, you return to the center. Holding this awareness, holding this space that is always there, but that we need to remind ourselves that we can reach. Go gently in direction to Shavasana. Remember how important also is this moment. And this transition that you are making right now is part of this moment. How arrive to the moment of relaxation. Remember that the position of relaxation, you're going to lay down on the floor with your back in direction to the mat. Your legs are in extension. Your arms are released along the body with the palms in direction to the ceiling. Your chin slightly in direction to the chest. Your eyes are closed. You surrender. You surrender every single part of the body. The feet, the legs, the trunk, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the head. You release completely the whole back of the body, the whole front of the body, the whole right side, the whole left side, surrendering completely. Every exhalation of your body is a reminder to go deeper into your relaxation, deeper in your state of surrender, diluting all the obstacles, all the contraction, all the resistance, veil after veil falling. Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham 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 Yam Ham Lam Vam Ram Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham Lam Vam Ram Yam May balance, healing, harmony arrive to each center of the body, spreading to each system, each organ, each gland, each cell. Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham 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 And our consciousness travel from the waves of vibration within the silence to the presence of our physical body. And now, very gently, we invite the movement, moving the head to one side and then the other, moving the fingers and the toes, stretching, bouncing the body, observing with movement the body may be exclaiming. And on your time, you lay down on the side and you start to come to the sitting position for us to finish, to conclude this circle. And I invite you to conclude this circle of yoga today, the circle of practice, bringing your hands in direction to your heart and simply recognizing this feeling. That made this memory is so strong within your mind that when you need it, you can reassess, reconnect with this beauty, this kindness, this union that is filling your heart. Namaste. Gratitude for you to being here with me in this journey. For me, it's always a joy to share yoga. You know, from Monday to Thursday, you can check on our website, meditaricenter.org, and you have all the classes and time over there. So happy to have you in this journey. So happy. I hope that you have a beautiful week and you keep your practice day by day, step by step, breath by breath.